welcome back to Ellibelle Yoga with Janice. We've got a nice gentle evening practice for you today. This is really nice to do right before bed or just as you're beginning to wind down for the evening. It's going to help promote a good night's sleep and just get rid of any of that tension that you might still be holding on to from your day today. We're going to begin in easy pose. Now, we want to keep everything nice and gentle, so sometimes it's a really good idea just to pop a cushion or a blanket under your bottom. It just takes the pressure off of those hips a little bit more. Bring the hands to the knees, roll the shoulders back and down a couple of times. And come to settle, lengthening through the spine, lifting that crown towards the sky. And then begin to focus on your breath, expanding through the chest, side ribs, all the way down into the tummy. And fully exhaling. Well done, just a couple more breaths here. Just begin to notice any areas that you might need to focus on to relieve tension. Well done. We're going to sweep the arms out in front, interlace the fingers and push the palms away from you. As you inhale, lifting the hands to the sky, arching the back. And as you exhale, bring the hands to shoulder height, round through the shoulders, pulling the elbows apart from each other. Inhale, lengthen, small back bend here. And exhaling, arms to shoulder height, separate the shoulder blades, tuck the chin. And keep cycling through in your own time, in your own breath here. So these are just a seated version of the cat-cows that we do normally in tabletop. One more. And release. Well done. Just come over onto the knees, remove the cushion. Now keep the cushion close by because you might want to use it to rest your head on at some point. We're going to go into Vipassana, child's pose. So bring the toes together and just separate the knees as wide as you feel comfortable to. Inhaling in, and as you exhale, just begin to walk those hands forward and allow the head to lower to the ground. Now this is where, if you just want a little bit more comfort, you can place the cushion there for your head. And you can choose different options with your arms. You can do the extended version that I'm in now, keeping the palms on the floor. If you want a bit of a stronger upper body stretch, you can bring the wrists up and just rest the fingertips onto the floor. Alternatively, if you want to give the upper body a really nice rest, you can bring the arms in the opposite direction and let the hands come down towards the heels. Letting the shoulders round and hug your knees. Just find what works for you this evening. And focus your breathing into the side and the back of the ribs, and even into the lower back. Keeping the breathing long and slow. Well done. As you inhale, rising up onto all fours, just pop your cushion to one side if you're using one. Come into tabletop. Just making sure the knees are beneath the hips, hands are beneath the shoulders, lengthening through the spine still, tucking the chin slightly. Inhale the right arm up, small twist, and as you exhale, thread the needle, so threading that right arm through the left and bringing the head and the shoulder down onto the floor. You can play around with your left arm here. Just move it around to find a useful position for you. This pose gives you a really good stretch through the shoulders, the upper back, even through the mid-back and the side. Try and let all the tension out from your neck and your face. You can even rock your hips side to side and just see where you need the hips to settle. On your next inhale, bring the left hand back in, rising up with the right and coming back to neutral. Same onto the other side. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale through the gap of the right arm. Rest the shoulder and the head just around that ear, maybe just above your ear. And then play around with the right arm to find a position that works for you. Again, you can play the hips a little bit here, give them a wiggle, and just find that sweet spot that gives you the stretch that you need after your day. Focusing the breath to where you need it most. Well done. As you inhale, bring the right hand back in. Left arm sweeps up and back down. Well done. We're going to sit down onto our bottoms. Just moving forward onto our mat. We're just going to do a couple of rock and rolls. So I used to find these quite difficult. I find that having a nice thick mat really helps, and just learning to really curve through the spine. You can hold onto your knees, onto the thighs, and we're going to curve the spine, and we're just going to roll back and back up and back. Two more. Last one. Well done. Now we're going to focus on that slow roll down. It's my favourite thing. Let's Tuck the chin, begin to curve through the spine. It's like a slow version of the rock and rolls. And just inch by inch, let the spine connect with the ground. Try not to let the shoulders and the head drop down too heavily. Well done. Just wiggle your shoulder blades around and find a comfortable position here. Bring the heels towards the bottom. You're going to bring the right ankle onto the left thigh, just below the knee area. And we're going to keep flexed through both feet. So that's when you're pulling your toes back towards your knees and pushing away with the heels. Now, you might find that you've already got quite a strong stretch through the outer thigh and the hip and even through the bottom here on the right side, but you might be ready for a little bit more. So the next progression, you can just push the knee away slightly more with your hand, or you can even just use your muscles to do the same action. Next progression is you might just lift that left foot up off of the floor, just increasing that stretch even more. And if you feel that you still could go a little bit further, you can actually catch a hold of the left thigh and hug it in towards your body. Now just be careful that you don't let the shoulder blades strain up here. You need to keep those relaxed. Two more cycles of breath. Before you release, just give that leg a little hug in a little bit further and then exhale, release. Great job. Let's change sides. So just resting that left ankle onto the right thigh, just below the knee area. And then choose your progression yet. You can stay as you are. Push the knee away a little bit further. Just make sure your hips don't start to twist. You might just lift the foot off of the floor. Or you might be able to catch hold. Even if you can just catch a hold of the fabric of your bottoms. You can't quite get the hands around the thigh. Some people find it more comfortable to catch around the front of the shin. Depends how long your arms are for that one though. Keep those feet flexed, protecting the knee joints. When you're breathing in this reclined pigeon pose, you can almost direct your breath down into that glute, through your bottom, through the outer hip. As you breathe, you can feel that stretch increase. On your next inhale, just see if you can squeeze that leg in a little bit further or push your knee further away depending on your option. And as you exhale, release. Hug both knees in. Might just rock side to side gently, massaging the lower back. Keep the right knee in and extend to the left leg. You're going to take the right leg across the body. Right arm comes out to the side. And you're just going to begin to travel over to the left. Now, if you find this version too strong or intense, bend the other leg, and you can keep the legs together. Most important thing here is to keep both shoulders engaged, otherwise you're not really going to experience the full benefits of the twist. Deep breathing. And on your exhales, just see if you can release a little bit further. You can use your arm, your hand for support here, help control. You can even pop your toe down onto the floor or place a cushion there, just for a little bit of extra support. Play around with it again, see where you need that stretch. And again, focus the breath where you need it. Play around with directing your breath. On your next inhale, contract through the core. Bring that knee back to center using the hand if you need to. Hug the left knee in, give both knees a squeeze, and then release the right. Take the left arm out to the side. Nice deep breath, and as you exhale, let that left knee drop towards the floor. Now it doesn't need to reach the floor. As you can see, I can't quite get down that low. It doesn't matter. And remember, if you want some extra support, you can place a cushion or a block there if you need to. And just use that right hand to help guide, support in this twist. Keep the shoulder blades engaging with your mat. Direct your breath. And see if you can release a little bit further with each exhale. Allow the body to relax further. On your next inhale, come back to center. Give the knees a nice hug in. Now you're going to extend feet up towards the sky, but what you might want to do first is just place a cushion under your bottom and lower back. Just keep the hands partly away from the body for a bit of support. You're going to extend the legs up so the feet are reaching for the ceiling. Heels are drawing up, toes are drawing down. You can absolutely do this against the wall or your headboard if you might be doing this in bed. Just gives you a little bit more support. But if you can get enough lift in your lower back and around your tailbone, you should be able to get to a point where you're almost not having to hold your legs up. So obviously if you're up against the wall, you don't need to do that anyway. You almost just want the legs to hang in place. So this is waterfall pose. And if you spend most of the day up on your feet or even sitting down, this is just a really lovely way to get your blood circulating and to give your feet and your legs a bit of a rest. Just 2 more breaths here. Well done. Bring the feet down. Have a nice tingly feeling in your feet. Remove the cushion if you were using one. And we're going to come down into Shavasana, taking the feet to the corners of your mat, letting the toes drop out. Wiggle those shoulder blades down, away from the ears. Remember, if you are uncomfortable in this fully reclined position, sometimes placing a cushion just underneath the knees, bending the knees a little bit more is really effective. Alternatively, you can sit up in easy pose. As you lie here, just take your body through a quick scan, checking for any lingering tensions you might be holding on to. And if you notice these tensions, just acknowledge them and then give them permission to melt away into the ground and away from the body. Remember, during Shavasana, sometimes it's nice to wrap yourself in a blanket to keep yourself nice and warm depending on where you are in the world and the season at the moment. Try and stay warm and toasty. Containing that energy, that calming energy that you've created during your practice this evening. And let that calming energy spread from the tips of your toes all the way up through the body to the crown of your head, down to the tips of your fingers. Let all of your muscles fully relax and feel warm and heavy. Enjoy that sensation. Sinking deeper into your mat, into the ground. When you're ready, just begin to bring some small movements back into the fingers and toes. And do whatever movements feel good for you here. You might take a full body stretch. You might hug the knees in. And when you're ready, rolling over onto your side, resting the head in that lower arm. And then slowly take your time, coming back up into a seated position. If you're not ready to open your eyes yet, you don't have to. Bring the hands to heart center. We're going to close our practice with a deep cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in, a deep breath all the way down into your tummy. And out through the mouth. One more time. Bring the hands to the third eye. Take a little bow. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the practice today, something a little bit different. I hope it helps you get a really good night's sleep or just enjoy a nice calm evening. Please remember to send me suggestions to join the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. And if you've got any comments or you want to share your journey with me and the rest of the followers in the group, please do. I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.